Hello, my name is Zoe Walker. So a little bit about my background. I have a degree in textiles for fashion and interiors, and I studied at UCA Farnham, which is in Surrey, and I graduated with a first degree in 2015. And I have been painting ever since. When I left uni, I couldn't afford a loom and didn't have space for a loom because I was weaving during my degree. And so I thought to myself, how can I carry on being creative? What can I do? So I decided to paint, which was an element of what I was doing in my degree, but only part of what I was doing because the painting was just, like I say, an element towards the bigger piece which I would have woven. So woven the fabric, and I was like creating quite heavy textured fabrics, more for like floor coverings, table coverings, and rugs. So the painting part of it was just a section that I sort of used to get colour and texture, and then would take that and then create it into a sample, and then the long piece of fabric. So it was quite challenging in a way for me to step away from painting as just part of a process to then making it the final piece. But that soon changed when I just started creating more and more paintings of all like just freedom then, because I wasn't working from a particular colour palette. I was just very free with going what felt right, using my intuition. And I was just creating them on card, some canvases, various sizes, and just going with it. And someone said to me, have you thought about selling them? And I just thought, no, like no one would want my work. I'm just a graduate. Like, why would they want my paintings? Very lacking confidence and self-esteem back then. And I was doing salsa dancing as a hobby. And someone said to me, I'd like to buy your work. And I was just so shocked. So it kind of started from there, and that was all back in 2015. In the meantime, since graduating, I've done some internships in uni with rug manufacturers in Estonia. I also did an internship after uni with a very popular vinyl flooring company in the UK. Since then, I've worked in interior retail and administration, as well as something completely different, dance fitness. I have a background in dance. I've also taught art to children in after school clubs, and I've also worked a little bit in hospitality as well. I've always had an interest in pattern and texture, and I remember staring at the seating on public transport when I was a child, like on the bus or on the train, and just fixated on patterns, colours, shapes, and just getting so drawn into them, just being able to stare at them for ages and ages, and just sort of analysing them. And so I have always had an interest in texture, and I feel like my art has even though it's developed throughout the years, in terms of texture, but also colour and size and medium and various things, it's always aimed around texture. Everything is about texture. So even when I look at outdoor surfaces, so bricks and sand and mud and leaves, I don't just see, oh, it's a brick, or oh, it's some leaves. I see much more than that, and I see inspiration, and this is what drives me. This is what motivates me to create textured paintings like I do. So my biggest influences are actually female figures, and these are people who have just come into my life through all walks of life, through all the different things that I've done, and different stages in my life where they may have given me ideas, inspiration, and not just to do with painting, but also my personal journey, be it my career, even my spiritual journey, and they've influenced me. And this has been dance fitness teachers, spiritual teachers, meditation teachers, colleagues, yoga teachers, business coaches, various amounts of people. And obviously now we have social media, so different influencers all across the world. They all happen to be female, and I've always ended up in sort of heavy female heavy dominated environments with education. For example, my textile degree was all female, jobs that I've had, hobbies, and I've always wondered why why do I end up in those situations with or surrounded by lots of females. And I'm only now realising that it's part of my spiritual journey, and I'm a believer in reincarnating and the rise of the feminine. I won't go into it in too much detail, but I feel that this is a really powerful time in the rise of the feminine. And I don't just mean women. My personal story and what I've explained has been women, but the feminine energy is rising everywhere, and everyone, and no matter what gender you are, has feminine energy in them, just as we all have masculine and we all have feminine energy in us. So yeah, this is what influences me. And I actually did a collection in 2018 all about femininity, and I remember thinking, why am I doing this? If someone asked me right now, what inspires you, why are you creating this collection of work, I actually couldn't tell them. I didn't know at the time. There was something in me that was stirring about female power, femininity, and I called this collection The Divine Powerful Femininity. And again, that was such a strong, powerful title, and I didn't know why I wanted to call it that. But it does really make sense. And all the female figures who have led me into different directions, when I look back, I can almost draw this puzzle, this sort of mind map of, so if I hadn't met that person, I wouldn't have done this, which has led to this. Obviously everyone sort of has a journey like that, but with me it's with those powerful women in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. So at the moment I am focusing on some smaller scale paintings, just scaling my work down and seeing how that creates texture. How is the texture different when the paintings are scaled down. I'm also working on some ceramics at the moment, which is exciting because it's something new that I haven't worked on before. So yeah, I've got some exciting things happening at the moment. My biggest challenge of being an artist, I would say, is juggling all the hats that you have to wear. As many artists may know, just to name a few of them, obviously painter. I'm an art and meditation teacher as well, and I do offer workshops. At the moment, not on a regular basis, but I am a teacher. Also a photographer. I'm obviously the face of my brand with social media and everything. It's a digital marketing manager, accountant, postage and packager, just general admin and website creating. That's just to name a few. So it's very challenging, and I do have a full-time job as well, and my personal life. So it's challenging, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And there's, I'm happy with how things are. I would like to be able to have a bit more time to work on my business, but I'm very grateful for everything that I have and I've built up. So yeah, the advice that I would give my younger self would be that you don't have to have everything figured out in your 20s. There's no rush at all. It's a slow process and nothing's going to change overnight, and hard work is key, but yeah, there's just no rush. There is no rush. So I would think I would just reassure my younger self. An unconventional medium or technique I've used, actually a tool that I've used is my grandmother's butter curler. I think my mum was clearing out some cupboards and she came across it and said, "Oh, would you like to use this for your art?" And I was thinking, that's brilliant, because it's obviously sort of like wavy on the ends of the curler, and I was scraping it through the paint, creating these ridges which created lovely texture. And in my uni project, in my degree, we used sandpaper, and I was sort of advised, like, why don't you just create all this texture? Why don't you just go and get loads of different materials that are, all quite cheap, sandpaper, cotton wool, anything, just to create loads and loads of texture. Just pour paint on really like thick and heavy textured spray paints and things like that. And yeah, I think for me at the time that was very unconventional, because I was used to working very neatly and I had my perfectionism mindset on, so that was quite unconventional for me. The best reaction that I've had for my work, and I have had lots and lots of lovely words, lovely, beautiful testimonials of my work, which I'm really grateful for. But a client said to me that they wake up looking at my painting every day, and they said, "I love this painting and we need to make the room look as fancy as the painting," which I really loved. I hope that people will take away a sense of curiosity from my work, whether it's the urge to touch the texture or the need to know what inspired me for that particular painting. There was a time that I found it very difficult to talk about my work, like I mentioned earlier with the feminine collection, but now I feel at one with it, as I feel at one with myself, and it's grown with me and it continues to grow with me in my journey. So yeah, thank you for listening to me, and if you would like to follow me, I'm at Zoe Walker Art on Instagram. You can email me info@Zoe Walker Art, or my website is zoewalkerart.com. And I do have, I'm taking part in a Christmas fair happening near Portsmouth in Hampshire in the UK, in the Porchester Parish Hall on the 10th of December. And I am selling some of my new small paintings at that. So very exciting. But yeah, thank you for listening.